Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Byte-Sized Brief. No, we haven't been in a while, but we're back now. We have a lot of topics to go over today, starting out with some very sad news about physical media, and that is that PlayStation is ending production of physical discs in 2028. So the other day they announced that due to the broader entertainment industry and the shift away from physical media and what their analytics show, everyone's buying digital apparently on their platform. Well, not everyone, but a lot of people are. So starting in January 2028, they will be shifting away to digital only. And I am very upset about this.
Okay, honestly, I have a different kind of approach on that. I'm actually not overly upset. I find it a bad direction, but overall, I don't think the execution is too bad. I mean, think about it. When you're buying a physical game for Xbox or PlayStation, you already have to download 90% of the game. You can't just pop the disc in and play. Because, for example, I think it was Madden something. It was like a sports game. You put it in, and it'd download like 50 gigabytes worth of data. So the game's not really on the disc anyway. Although it technically is. It's a hot topic because I understand because practically you download the whole entire game itself anyway when you buy the disc. But at the same time, you shouldn't have to. The disc should contain the game, and you shouldn't have to use the disc to download the game. And now that they're stopping producing the discs, you can't resell your game because you can't really resell a digital download. I mean, they might allow you to, like Nintendo does with digital game share, but that is not like a permanent solution. That's temporarily like handing the game over for like a couple weeks to a friend digitally. And that's not the same thing as you giving the disc to someone and now they own that game. I see why they're doing this because games are getting bigger and bigger and discs can't hold that game, but switch to cartridges or something. Switch to something that can hold the whole entire game then. Don't just not give us the option anymore. I mean, understand with like PC gaming, you're not buying physical games anymore anyway. Like for Steam, all of them are digital. At the same time, it's a console. It's a little different than a PC. So I am not overly upset with this, but it does set a really bad precedent for the future. Like, you're not going to own it and you're going to be happy with it.
Yeah, and the main thing, and this is something that I'm not really seeing anyone talk about with this whole scenario, and that, kind of like what you just said, you'll own nothing and be happy. I mean, think about it like 20 years down the road when the PS 9 is out or whatever, or enough time down the road where they shut down the PS6 digital store. Because speaking of, they also shut down the PS3 digital store this week along with that. The problem is that since the PS6, since it's rumored to come out like after that date, it's going to be all digital. And the problem is that if you were to buy a used PS6 off eBay, because, at that point it's vintage or whatever, and you just want to play it, how are you going to play a game if the digital store is gone and there's no physical anything? At that point, it would just be a paperweight because you couldn't use it. And, I'm not the biggest PC gamer, so I don't know exactly how. I know it's all digital. Although with Steam, they don't really discontinue a lot of games often from what I know, and it's not like a console store or whatever, so you don't really have that problem on PC gaming. And that's my main thing. And of course you also have the people who like collecting the physical things and use game market. Prices are probably going to be more expensive because there won't be any competition with physical sales and everything. So yeah, the first thing is what I mainly have a problem with it. And I mean, honestly, if PlayStation kept the digital store open permanently, I wouldn't have too much of a problem with it, but they're not going to do that. I mean, with this announcement, they just shut down the PS3 store, which the PS3 is ancient at this point, but now, let's imagine if the PS3 was digital only, which back then that would never happen, but if you bought a used PS3, you wouldn't be able to play any of the old games or anything. at least legally.
Yeah, no, you couldn't. And yeah, this is going to also bring a physical media, like, price-wise, is going to go up in price. If you have a physical game, it's going to go up in price because they're no longer producing the game. You can no longer buy the game. So that's automatically going to make the price of the games go up. Digital games are going to stay in the same price because they're digital. They can change the price at any time. With a physical game, you can if they're on store shelves, but you can't tell someone who's selling your game to spell it at this price. That's not how selling games work. And it's a really bad trend where, yeah, let's say they close the PS5 store, how are you going to download your games anymore? That's a problem. But at the same time, if the disc already contains half the game and you can't download the other half of the game, it's kind of the same situation too. So I see this as, like I said, it's a really bad precedent. I don't know how they're going to get around this because games are absolutely massive nowadays, and you have to buy like an external hard drive to give you the game completely in full. And think about updates for games. The disc doesn't get updates. You have to download an additional update on top of it. Like, for example, if you buy a Switch 2 game and it has an update, it doesn't update the cartridge. It updates to your device in like a DLC, like software. And that's a problem because once the store closes, you can't get updates. I mean, unless they still provide updates, but that means the store didn't close technically. But anytime, they can officially close it at any time. So it's just a really interesting introspective and where are they going to go with it? What are they going to do with it? They can do anything they want with it. They have complete control over it in every single situation. At any time, they can revoke your license. Let's say if, this is a hypothetical, but there was a guy who spoke up against, what was it? He spoke up against some like political topic and his, what was it? I believe it was Microsoft ID was revoked.
Wow.
Yeah, the Microsoft's like, you can't have it. They said it was for endangerment of the public. So at any time, they can just revoke your thing if they disagree with you on a certain topic. He was reinstated later because there's a lot of backlash. Like, I'm sorry.
I mean,
How
that's
dare you?
against free
He was
speech,
reinstated.
basically.
What?
That's basically against free speech.
Exactly. And they can do that with games. They don't like you, they can remove your games if they're completely digital. If they're physical media, that check online, like the new PS5 software update that required like a game to verify it on the server up for 24 hours after purchasing the game. With that kind of check, that thing will still work. If you put the disc in and then it has to verify the disc online, it can just refuse to verify it and you can't play the game. It's a slope that if you go down, gaming's in jeopardy at that point. But let's go back to the PC side, where there's more options. Like, for example, Steam is one of the options. There's Epic Games, there's Greenman Gaming. There's a bunch of different stores you can buy games. Steam's the most popular one, of course. But with PS and Xbox, they're the only option. So that's where Monopoly can come in. With PC, you have many options to choose from where they don't do that. They don't have these practices. With PS and Xbox, you don't have that option.
Yeah. And also, like you were talking about the whole license thing, I think if you actually look at it, PlayStation's probably been planning this for like a long time. And that's why they started having these big updates and the license thing, which is also really stupid. That's like what the Xbox One did and everyone hated. Like in the perfect world, they would stop doing all this and keep physical. Like you said, move to something that can hold the storage, like cartridges are one thing, basically a glorified SD card in most of a way, which I don't know why they don't download the update to the cartridge because, again, it's a basic glorified SD card, but I guess, I don't know. But yeah, it's definitely not a good thing to be going down, especially because they're probably going to influence Xbox to do it. I'm pretty sure it's rumored that the Project Helix is going to be digital only, but that might be a bit different just because it's supposedly going to have Windows, and you might be able to get Steam on that. Who knows? But it is overall a bad direction, and I personally don't agree with it for consoles. I think. I mean, I'm pretty sure really the only way you can get a game for a PC these days is digital. So, I mean, that's already happened, but with that, you don't have to worry.
Yeah. But in worse news, the RAM apocalypse is getting significantly worse. Apple and Xbox both increased their prices again. Now, Xbox, we saw this coming. They've raised their prices like 4 times at this point, like $50 here, $50 here, $100 here. And now the Series X is $500. Mind you, it started at $300, so it's now like $200 more expensive. The Series X is now $750, which started at $500, and etc. and so forth. But out of nowhere, Apple, the people who charge $200 for RAM upgrades, they're like, you know what? We also need to raise our prices, which I understand it's bad, but Apple, I was not expecting them to. If I expected anyone to do it, any other company, and then Apple, I'm like, oh, it's bad because Apple has like the insane supply chain and everything like that. They have everything to a T, and then they're like, you know what? We actually have to adjust our pricing. That is a warning sign. Like, hey guys, there's not right. It's not even good for the biggest, like. Not the biggest, but like the third biggest tech company in the world. And the MacBook Neo that came out at $600 is now $700, which is now less of a steal than it was. It's still a really good deal, but less so. There's the MacBook Air that went up like $200. The MacBook Pro, which went up $300. There is the Mac Studio, which went up like practically $500. Well, the M4 Max version. The iPads, they also went up like $200 each. Some of them, yeah, $200 each, I believe. The iPad mini only went $100. The Apple TV went up like $80 or $70? Yeah, $70. The HomePod went up, which was already a bad deal, $50. The Vision Pro, okay, the Vision Pro, I'm sorry. That thing was already so expensive, $3,500. Now it's $3,700. Okay, no one's going to even notice that price increase because I guarantee you, like, 2 people are buying it within this last
when I saw that, I was like, wait, did they raise that or not? I honestly couldn't remember.
Yeah, but this is showing you how bad the RAM crisis is. And it's not just RAM now. Now it's also the storage because the people who are trying to ramp up more RAM to try to fix the problem, they're no longer making the storage in its place. This is just bad for the whole entire industry. And you can see that it's not just consumers are getting hit, it's also companies now getting hit.
Yeah, honestly, when this happened, like, I still remember the podcast we did before this all started when, like, the first thing came out about it. And whenever there's, like, a report or something like that, you always are kind of like, is this actually going to turn out? And now, like, to this point of how bad it's actually got, because now we've seen the effects. And now that Apple is doing it, it was kind of like the nail in the coffin for me of just how serious this is that even Apple's doing it. Like, Tim Cook said in an investor meeting like a month ago about how bad it was getting, that they can't keep supply in. And he actually kind of hinted at this happening. But I just cannot believe it actually happened. And these are massive price increases too, like hundreds of dollars, which is crazy. Now, there's some things like the Apple TV, the HomePod. I don't see why they need to do that. The HomePod literally has less than a gigabyte of RAM. The TV only has 3 gigabytes of RAM. They didn't need to do that. But, like, everything else I can kind of get. Now, thankfully, the iPhones haven't gone up, but the iPhone 18 Pro is rumored to start at $1,300 now, possibly, which is just crazy. It's like, it's just such a bad time to buy anything with technology right now, because everything's so expensive. Like, about a year ago, I had bought a Samsung T1 1TB SSD and a 2TB hard drive from Western Digital. For both of those, it was $180. I looked to this day with Prime Day deals, and just to buy the 1TB SSD, it costs more than buying both. And without the sale, it was like $130 more. It was like almost
Yep.
$200 more than the 1 terabyte.
And mind you that there's newer versions of those products now, and they're the older versions that you were trying
Yeah,
to purchase.
it was the exact same model. It's just like it has gone up so much, and it's reports keep saying it's gonna keep going up. So honestly, I don't even know at this point. Like, it's just saying, like, is this ever gonna stop? Is Who knows?
I don't think so until that that Chinese manufacturer. I forgot what it's called. Do you remember what it's called? Like,
CMXC or
uh,
something.
yeah, that one. Yeah, when the Chinese manufacturer starts making their own RAM, I think that's the only time that things will settle down. At the same time, do you think companies will settle down? Like, hypothetically, if the RAM does get cheaper and storage does get cheaper, do you think they're going to lower the prices? I don't know, like, any company who's ever lowered the prices, to be honest. Like, unless if it was like a grocery item. I can't think of a time Apple made the next iPhone cheaper or Samsung made their next phone cheaper. That I can't remember a time that actually happened, besides like the first Galaxy Fold. That was about it. And even if this does settle out, I think that these are the prices we're going to pay now. I don't think that we're going back down to a lower price. I mean, if we do, great, absolutely great. But let's not be optimistic with a bunch of companies who enjoy making as much money as possible.
Yeah, it's really just depressing, to be honest. But some not depressing news, the rumored Nvidia M1 chip, which is actually called the Nvidia RTX Spark, is now kind of here. I don't actually think any of the hardware is out yet, but a few weeks ago they announced it and everything, and it looks promising, but I haven't been able to find like any like comparisons or benchmarks or anything of it yet. So
Yeah, no one's allowed to like basically use it yet. They've demoed it on the show floor, and that's pretty much the extent of it. So it's a 20-core NVIDIA Grace CPU with a Blackwell GPU architecture. What does that mean? It has CPU cores and GPU cores that are made by NVIDIA. That's pretty much what it means. It has 128 gigabytes unified memory on the like higher up models, and it's supposed to go in your laptop. It's supposed to be for like a mini AI PC. But the thing is, it's like, we don't really need it. There's Snapdragon X Extremes. Maybe it'll be better than those. But honestly, I think it's just another CPU that's fine. I don't think it's going to be super important for everyday users. I think it'll be very popular with like the Mac Mini community that just bought a bunch of Mac Minis for AI data farming. I think it'll be popular with those kind of people, because the Mac Mini was like, what, $500, $600? And it was super good at AI tasks.
Emphasis on was.
Was, yes. Emphasis on was. And now it's more expensive. But it was really good, like price to AI top-wise. And now it's not. So I think that the AI Spark is basically going to take its place, or the NVIDIA Spark, because I think that's pretty much the whole entire intended use case for this product. I don't think it's interesting for consumers, to be honest. I mean, it may be really good. We'll have to wait till they actually let us use it. I mean, they've been rumored about this for like 6 years at this point. They've been talking about this chip for a long time, and we finally are seeing it, and they won't let us use it. Why won't they let us use it? Because, like, for example, all the tech creators that I watch, none of them have had hands-on on it. And during one of my tech creators podcasts, they're like, yeah, they haven't allowed us to use it yet. And that's a red flag. If you don't want someone to use your product, usually means it's not the best. Of course, we don't know that yet. Maybe it's just not ready at all, and they're still, after 6 years, not ready to use it yet. Who knows?
Yeah, so, I mean, on paper, the specs look pretty good. But I'm still pretty unsure. I want to wait to see what it can actually do. And also another thing is pricing and the RAM shortage. I mean, who knows?
It is 128 gigabytes of
Yeah.
that stuff.
That will not. That's not going to be a $500 mini PC right there if it has that much RAM in it. So
No.
I mean, it looks interesting, but the thing is like Nvidia does, they're designed it for AI, which I think basically any consumer doesn't care about or hates. And I mean, to be honest, they're also kind of late to the game. Apple has been making Apple Silicon for 6 years now. Qualcomm, I think it was, that does Snapdragon, has been doing it for like 3 years now, I think. I'm not sure. So they're kind
Yep.
of late to the game. And also, you got to keep in mind it's also on Windows, so I'm not sure if they've fully optimized it for ARM yet. Of course, they probably have to re-optimize it for
Yeah.
this.
That's the only thing that's right now holding back the Snapdragon chips is Windows itself. So this, and if you run Linux based on those laptops, it works great. But at the same time, it's like, yeah, you're not going to be running Linux on those machines most likely. You're probably going to be running Windows, and Windows does not work very well on ARM still. They're working on it, but they've been working on it for what? A long time. That's all I know.
Yeah. And also another thing is, like, in all of the marketing, they literally made it sound like this was like groundbreaking new technology, and let's be honest, it's not.
It's an ARM chip.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, the specs look pretty good, but it's not groundbreaking. And especially since there's been ARM on Windows before too. So yeah, I don't think it's gonna be the best thing ever, and I think it's only gonna be for a certain audience. But I mean, it looks okay. That's about it
Yeah.
for me.
At least it doesn't look like complete garbage, like the Nothing phone, because Nothing phone, their new phone that they released, the 4B, is stupid. What does 4B mean? So it's newer than their 3A, but what does B stand for? A means for like light or less than. What is B for? Extra less than? Extra less than newer. What in the world? Anyway, besides that hot piece of garbage, fun fact, Microsoft released a Linux version. It's called Azure Linux 4.0. It's based on Fedora, which is a type of Linux, and you can download it for servers or virtual machines. Why? Why? Microsoft makes their own server software, Windows Server.
Because Windows is so bad. Windows is so bad.
Why? What is the point? They're selling a Linux version, their competitor in the OS space. They're selling a version of it for their servers when they make a server product. And it's free, is it? Is it free? It's free. What are they thinking? What is the... Okay, this is basically them saying like, hey guys, we know Microsoft Server is not great. Here's something better.
That's what...
It feels like that's what they're doing.
From what I know, it doesn't have a graphical user interface, by the way.
It does not. But still, neither does like some Windows Server interfaces doesn't either. What's your opinion on
it? They just knew how bad Windows was, and it sounds like they've been using this internally for a long time. Linux is, like, from what I know, very good for like servers and stuff. Like, a lot of servers run on it. So I mean, it's probably better than any Windows server, to be honest.
Yeah, I believe it was like 70% of all servers in the enterprise space are using Linux. I believe it was 70%, or maybe even more. It's like, yeah, you're kind of admitting defeat if you're selling your competitor's product. That's like Apple selling a Samsung Galaxy Book on their website. What are you doing, Apple? Why is there a Samsung Galaxy Book on your site? Why are you selling that? Unless if it's like a 4D chess move where they're like, okay, I'm going to sell the competitor's product so they know it's worse than our product, which is not true because Linux server is actually pretty good. So
I don't even know anything about it, and it's so much better. I know it's so much better.
Yeah. Well, Meta is going to use its AI data centers as a new venture called Meta Compute. You can rent spaces in Meta servers to compute stuff for your company. I don't like Meta. I don't like their AI. I don't like anything of that. I don't think it's a bad idea, but I don't think it's a good idea because it's Meta. You want them in control of every single bit of your data, like your whole entire company's data and your whole entire like website's data. I don't think that's a good idea.
Yeah, so basically it turns out that their AI was so terrible that no one was using it. So they ruined all this perfectly good land and just stockpiled RAM on it that we want, but we can't get. So and they don't need it anymore. So basically, it sounds like I don't know if this is for like necessarily consumers because I've seen people compare it to like AWS or something like that. So, I mean, I guess it's a good idea, but it is meta. I feel meta can never stick with one thing. Like, I just feel like their business model has fallen apart ever since the beginning of Mark Zuckerberg's existence. Like when he was born.
Yeah, Meta's tried everything. They have Instagram, they have WhatsApp, they have Facebook, they have this, they have that, they have AI, they don't have AI, they have AI glasses. No, they don't have AI glasses. They have VR headsets, they don't pay for VR headsets. They're trying everything and they're not making anything. Like the metaverse, they lost, I think it was, is it trillions
a lot
or
of
billions?
money.
I think it was billions. A lot of money. Billions of dollars they lost on the metaverse and they just shut it down because they gave up. And now they're selling the parts of their AI data centers to work for compute centers. Think about AWS, like Amazon's web services, where you can run your website or your data hosted on an Amazon server, and then you do that. It's similar to that, but at the same time, like, remember when AWS went out and, every single website in the world stopped working? It's Meta. You think that their servers are going to be more reliable than Amazon's? I'm sorry. I almost guarantee you that they're going to be less reliable than Amazon's. Anyway.
I mean... I technically, if you do look at it from the optimistic standpoint, it does create less of a monopoly of AWS, but then again, it's Meta, so that's not really that much better of a situation, to be honest. Anyways, more depressing news about I guess you could say RAM shortage. Intel is raising the price of their Core Ultra 5, some of the Core Ultra 5 and some of the Core Ultra 7 processors that they released. I think by about $50-ish each. I don't know if you can blame this necessarily on the RAM shortage because it's just a processor unless it has RAM in it. But do they have integrated GPUs?
No, they have caches though, which technically is RAM, but at the same time, they produce that stuff themselves, so they're not buying it from another company. So that doesn't really include them.
Yeah, of course. I mean, the RAM shortage is driving some other things up, but anyways, it's not that big of. I mean, it's not that big of a price jump, but I mean, still, everything's going up. Like, I literally feel like every day I wake up, I see some new news article about something getting price increased. Literally every day it feels like. It's just crazy, honestly.
Yeah. Well, on another topic, you know how we have AI data centers in space, and then we also have like a nuclear submarine to power a data center, and
Jet
there's
turbines,
solar nuclear energy and stuff. Valor and Atomics just built a mini nuclear reactor to power a PC, AI PC. And they're teaming up with Nvidia to make an AI factory with their nuclear reactors.
Yay!
Why? I mean, hey, honestly, this is actually not that bad. Okay, with an asterisk on the end, big asterisk. It's not bad because that means they'll stop using our water. Not water. They'll stop using our power. Like our power grid. So we have more reliable power. But at the same time, it's like they have a nuclear reactor in their facility. Think about this. Nvidia, Meta, Amazon, they have nuclear reactors in their
I don't trust any of these companies with a nuclear reactor at all.
I mean, yeah, it's a small nuclear reactor,
but still a nuclear reactor.
If they have a lot of them, that's still equivalent to a big one.
I
don't.
It's just crazy. I mean, first we had jet turbines, and in outer space, they are just trying to put data centers everywhere. Like they're probably just gonna like one day instead of like having us move to the moon, they're probably just gonna have a data center farm on the moon, and like the entire moon is gonna be a data center.
But why on the moon? By the way, moving like data centers up in space is also kind of stupid because you can't cool them in
But
space.
space is cold.
Space is a vacuum. You can't air
Oh,
cool
wait,
in a
that's
vacuum.
true.
You can't water cool in a vacuum. You have to put air onto the ship to be able to use
Well,
air
then
to
how
cool.
is Google
And to cool the
supposedly
water, you have to
going to
also have to
put
have air.
the AI data center in a satellite then? They're,
It's guys. It's just guys. I mean, yay! Thankfully, they're going to stop using our power. But a nuclear reactor, I don't trust you guys with a nuclear reactor. I mean, hey, maybe it'll be heavily regulated, and they're going like every single week they have to have like an inspection on it. Sure, I'll be okay with that then if they're inspecting it every week, making sure everyone's up to date. But if like months down the road there is a new little intern and the intern doesn't know how to use it properly and the other guy passes out or something and that the intern doesn't know how to fix the reactor and the reactor kaboom. I mean, it would be a small reactor, yes, but at the same time, it's still a nuclear reactor and it's still going to make some damage and still some radiation. I mean, I don't trust this. But at the same time, it's good. It's good that they're trying something. Just maybe a little less dangerous first, maybe solar, maybe line the whole entire thing with solar. Use only solar power. I know solar power is not very efficient, whatnot, but I don't need to using a nuclear reactor. Please, guys.
why can't these companies come up with some new exotic equivalent to RAM? Like they're coming up with these exotic energy ideas. Why can't they do that for RAM? Because that's what I want. I just want RAM, to be honest.
Speaking of RAM, there is a class action lawsuit against Samsung, SK Hynix, and Micron, the three biggest RAM producers. Like they make like 99% of all RAM in the world. All of them are being sued for colluding to restrict access to DDR3 and DDR4, driving prices over 700%, according to this lawsuit by a bunch of people. Sorry? So you're saying that this whole entire RAM shortage is because they concluded, or concluded, I can't speak that word. Anyway, to make sure that there's no RAM. I mean, maybe. But at the same time, it's like, no at the same time, but maybe. I've also heard that it's not really true. Some people agree that, yeah, they were doing this to purposely raise RAM prices higher, but that's also hurting their own business. But actually didn't, because they sold so much more RAM. Because they started producing more RAM. Okay, so they produced more RAM, made more profit, but RAM is still going up in price because there's more RAM being made. What's your opinion on it?
I don't know, honestly. Like, I did the research for this, but like, I didn't like go look at a ton of different things and see what people are saying, if it's true or not. I could see it being true. Like, it would be a corporate thing to do. Then again, like, we also have the RAM shortage going on. But
the RAM shortage is not because they're not producing enough. I mean, yeah, it is because they're producing enough, but it's because they're selling all the stuff they do produce to larger companies. So even if they were to halt production, they're still selling all of it to the other companies. And that's majorly why there's a RAM shortage, because they're selling a lot of it to other companies who need it for AI.
I mean...
and that's how they're making their money. So, I mean, I can see where this lawsuit is going to take place, but honestly, I don't think they're colluding to do that, but they could be. But they were also sued on this like 6 years ago, a while ago. They were also sued doing the exact same thing with DDR3 and DDR4, DDR2, DDR3. They were also accused of doing this. But the lawsuit kind of fell out and they sold out, and I don't think they would try it again, would they?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I could see them like purposely limiting their stock so they could purposely raise the price, and then it's only these AI companies that can afford it, or maybe they just got first dibs on it or whatever, to kind of artificially start the RAM shortage. But I don't know, honestly. It honestly could just be like a lot of people are trying to find a solution for the RAM shortage, and they came up with this, which I don't know how that's going to help the RAM shortage, honestly. what would help is if we had more RAM, which, I mean, if they are artificially limiting how much they make, then I really hope they stop. But I'm not exactly sure what to believe in this case. I guess we'll just have to see what happens with this case, but I feel like this probably is going to fall off. I don't really think it's going to turn into much, to be honest.
But I do believe they actually, during their earnings report, reported that they sold the most RAM they've ever sold before. So at the same time, so they're producing more. Maybe they're purposely not producing consumer RAM. If that's what the lawsuit's about, though, they're not producing consumer RAM, yeah, they're purposely doing that. They're not colluding to do that. They're purposely doing that because they want the profit, and the profits in the big companies are paying them thousands upon more for the other RAM. So anyway, but you know what else was affected by the RAM crisis?
Steam machine.
Even if it wasn't the Steam machine. Yeah, so, the Steam machine was rumored $500, $600 for a Steam machine. It was going to be absolutely fantastic. It was going to be a full-on, PC and console at the same time for $500, $600. And it's going to run SteamOS, not Windows. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be actually pretty powerful for that price, too. Oh. It's $1,050.
Starting.
Without a controller. No controller. Oh, no. 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 This was our only hope of getting a console. That was actually a good deal. Actually a good product. I mean, the PS5 is fine, but no. We needed something better than a PS5. It's $1,050.
Without a controller.
Without a controller.
And it's comparable to a PS5 in performance from what I'm seeing.
Yeah, it's comparable to PS5 performance. That came out, PS5 came out 6 years ago now? 7 years ago?
2020.
Yeah. And the PS6 is going to come out, and it's going to absolutely smash that thing as long as the price is around the same price as it currently is. Who's going to buy a $1,050 device when they can buy a $600, $700 PS5? They're not going to spend more money for the same thing. I mean, yeah, it's going to be Steam. It's going to play more games. At the same time, your PC can play more games.
Yeah. It's I feel like if you have a gaming PC, don't buy this at all. Don't buy this, because yeah, and the thing is if you have a console or you're debating on whether to get a PC or a console, this was supposed to be the all-in-one machine of best of both worlds. But with the price and performance ratio, the price to performance ratio is just not enough.
Yeah, I mean, looking at, hypothetically, it's $1,050. My laptop can play some PC games. Not all of them, of course. My laptop was about $600. Let's also think about a PS5. How expensive is the cheapest version? The PS5,
I believe
Slim,
it's
or whatever it's called.
$550 or...
Okay, $550. So $550 plus $600 is $1,050 or $1,150, whatever. I can have two devices for about the same price.
Actually, about $650 now. They raised the price.
Oh, actually, now that they raised the price, maybe it's actually not too bad.
It's $50 more.
But at the same time, you can buy a PC. Oh, that's really hard because I can buy a $1,100 PC, and it's probably going to perform better than that.
It's $600 digital version, and it's $650 with the disk drive.
Anyway, so the Steam machine is still a pretty good machine. It's not overly powerful. Even in fact, they had to retract some of their wording. They said it could do 4K at 60. It could not do 4K at 60, even under the most extreme circumstances. So they had to retract that statement. They're called out it cannot do 4K 60, and oh yeah, it can't. So they retracted that. That's even showing you that they were way over promising how performant it was. It's actually not that performant in the long scheme of things.
It could.
So it's good for 1440p and 4K at 2530, but not 60.
Yeah, from what I know, to actually get 60, they were running the game at 720 and then using AI to upscale it, which, from what I saw, looked abysmal.
Uh-huh. Okay, think about a 720p video. It's not the highest quality video. Think about when you're watching YouTube and it's not 720p. Think about that just made bigger into 4K and AI is filling in the gaps. It looked like a hallucinogenic dream. I was like, guys, what is this? That
This
is
is
not
DDR.
4K.
What is it called? DDR5? No. DLSS6. That's what it's gonna look. That's what it looks like.
Yes, DLSS6. Yeah, it was basically that, but actually
Yeah.
worse because it was just worse.
And
But speaking of AI, WWDC 2026 happened. Or whatever, Worldwide Conference by Apple.
Worldwide
I forgot.
Developers
Worldwide Direct Conference?
Worldwide Developers Conference.
26. Got it. They announced the new Siri AI with iOS 27. It's now powered by Gemini. They did say it was powered by Gemini, right?
No. Which we'll talk about that later.
Okay. Better AI. Okay. Dynamic Island with the new design. Okay, good. Looks about the same to me, just slightly different, but
What?
pretty much the same.
It does not
New
look the
Siri.
same.
The new design of the bar, yes, that's new, but the rest of the dynamic island's the same.
Yeah.
Is what I meant. You can now use visual intelligence, like actually this time it doesn't just pull up Google Lens. You can do it on your Mac now. You can customize the voice for Siri for once. More so. Like before you had like preset voices. Now you can actually like do this voice but faster or slower, higher pitched, lower pitched. It can find weak passwords and fix them. Okay, by the way, weak passwords and fix them. It's Google's been able to do that for like 3 years. I'm sorry. Just throwing that out there. Anyway, we're going to keep moving.
Google's been able
macOS
to do
27.
everything in this list for 3 years.
Yeah, that's kind of true because these are all like them catching up for the most part, except for like improving their OS itself. Like they said 30% faster loading on everything because they've cleaned up all the software over the years, kept piling on. That's why iOS 26 was kind of buggy because it was new software on top of an old software and it was not great. With 27, they kind of cleaned up a lot of that, so hopefully it's a lot better. Hopefully. I've seen your camera app do some very strange things, like not switching cameras or being inverted color on the lock screen, but not being inverted colors on the regular home screen for some reason. Hopefully that's get taken care of eventually. But macOS 7 has new improvements, 30% faster, 7% faster AirDrop. Photos are 70% faster. How does that work? AirDrop's 8% faster. Who knows how they made that happen? Better liquid glass. AirPods EQ. I'm sorry, this is about time. EQ has existed for 20 years on like every single device in the world. So I'm glad they added it. I'm surprised that they took so long to add that, honestly. And it's a 3-band equalizer. 3 bands. Wow, you gave us a lot of choice there. You have 9 options, basically. Up 1, down 1, middle 1, down. I'm like, guys, can you give us something more than just 3? Anyway, I know it sounds like I'm berating Apple, but honestly, the improvements to the software, let alone his acknowledgement, it's great. iPhone 11 got the update. I'm sorry? iPhone 11? How old is that?
7 years.
My phone is not going to get One UI 9. And my phone is 4 or 5 years old? And that is, you said 7 years old?
7.
Okay, Apple. Good job.
It'll be 8
like,
next
legitimately,
year.
that's a good job. Yeah, good job. I think that's probably going to be the last update for it, though.
Yeah.
I'm assuming. And who knows how well it runs on the iPhone 11? Because iPhone 11 is not very performant anymore. So who knows how well it's going to run. But still, that's great. Some more tweaks and stuff, better searching, more child safety features. That's pretty much it. So what are your thoughts on that?
So the main things they said were AI stability and child safety stuff. I have been beta testing iOS 27 since the beginning, and so far it is a lot smoother in basically every way. A lot of bugs have been fixed. There are quite a bit of new bugs, and everything, but overall the performance, the new improvements are great. Like, one of my favorite things is the smoother network transitions. Before, we would like be down the street and it's still connected to my internet. Now, like when we actually pull out of the driveway, it switches, which is so nice. So that way I don't have this like buffer. But yeah, so all of that's really good. So Siri is It's there. It's it's beta 2 made it a lot worse. It's having an identity crisis in beta 2 because it can't tell. It keeps switching back to between the old series, but it does work very well on most of the
when it
what?
does.
Yes,
When it
when it
does.
does on the stuff they promised, and it can do different steps. It can answer questions and everything for you. I'm still not the biggest fan of the new UI. I just think it looks a bit wonky, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't
It
like it either.
just does not look that well. But to be honest, most of this was just stuff that was promised back in 2024. Like, there was very few new AI features that were not previously promised. There are things like the new AI building shortcuts, which is amazing. I've used it. It's
Yeah, you used it. So he had it set up where if I text him, it would read that message and make it kind of clinically insane and send it back to me. It was very interesting, I'll say the least. It was interesting. Okay. Um,
yeah.
and from what I've seen, it's doing a pretty good job. You did have to prompt it a couple times to like look through your messages once you ask it a question. Like he's like, look at my messages from Sterling, and what about this, this, and this? It didn't like automatically like figure out to look through my messages. I mean, it did sometimes, but it didn't other times. And it seems it's good because it can access everything on your phone. Unlike for example, when I have the Google's version Gemini. Try not to activate my speaker back there. When I do that, it doesn't access your personal data technically. I mean, it does access like your Google history, your Google Photos. It does, but it doesn't access any of your messages or any of your calls. They haven't made it do that yet. It can access your like notifications, but it cannot access your actual messages. So when I ask it a question, Siri probably would be able to answer it. Google, not so much. It wouldn't be able to because it doesn't have the context. It doesn't have what it needs. With Siri's version, it actually has all the information it needs. Literally everything about you, everything you've ever said. Well, to the device, of course, not in person yet.
Yeah.
Maybe it's coming in a future update. But anyway, I don't think it will.
Yeah, but that is probably the biggest upside with it, the personal context. And from what I know, it's pretty secure. They have private cloud compute, and it does do a good bit on device, not as much. It does a lot on off device now, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But from what I know, when it a lot of when it does like the server stuff, the actual looking through your information happens on device, and then once it finds the right thing, it sends it to private cloud compute, deletes it immediately after. In fact, they have this thing on their website that if you can hack it, they'll pay you $2 billion, apparently. So,
yeah,
that's kind of cool. But then again, it doesn't work all the time. Sometimes it will give you the generic Siri 1.0, as you could call it, answers and everything. But yeah, now all the other new AI features, like specifically the photo stuff, are pretty bad still. And also I just don't like them because it's RAM heavy and it takes away human creativity and all that. It's not something that I'd actually use beyond just to demo it and to actually test it. So yeah, that's pretty good. And the main star of the show at WWDC was the new Siri AI, as they're calling it, which is so stupid in my opinion. Just have it Siri. But yeah, it's working really good finally. But there's not much new, and I do have some concerns though with Apple's leaning on AI now. They were a lot more responsible with it back in 2024. Like for instance, I do not think there's an option to turn off Siri AI now. I think they're forcing the AI on you now, which is really bad. Another thing, at least in beta 2, there is no settings for Apple Intelligence. There is for Siri, but not Apple Intelligence, which is really annoying because what if you only want the new Siri and not writing tools? Well, they actually integrated that with the Siri. It's really bad. I don't like the actual proofreading stuff's really good. It's just the way you access it's really bad. You have to like tell Siri to proofread it. I'm like, just proofread. I want a button to proofread. I don't want to have to tell Siri to do it. But it seems like they're a lot more comfortable with letting AI take over absolutely everything now, which is a bit annoying. But yeah, it's AI, and I wish there were more new things with iOS 27, but I'm all for a stability year because of how bad iOS 26 is. So I'm really glad that they have fixed a lot of bugs and that the actual new series finally here. Oh, and
Yeah.
the Gemini thing. So, like you were saying, so from all I know, it's technically not using Gemini because apparently Gemini was training the AI. So basically, the Siri AI is basically Gemini's son. Basically.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so take that what you will, but because that was a very big confusing thing after because some people were wondering if it was completely Gemini and whatever, but I try to look into that a lot, and from what I can tell, that is in the basic way I can put it. Basically, Gemini had a son, and it's or whatever gender you want it to be, because you can change the gender of the voice. That sounded really weird, but
Yeah, but like when I've seen you using it, I've not personally used it, but I've seen you use it a lot, and especially like with me texting you back and then you automatically make a reply. It seems like it's just a custom AI on your device that's looking through your stuff, grabs a stack of papers, and then that stack of papers it gives off to Gemini. And then Gemini takes it and then sends it back. That's what it feels like it's doing. Because it feels like it's a custom AI that's looking through your stuff and then just sends it off to regular Gemini. Especially if Gemini was the one basically training this whole entire model. If it is practically, yeah, like you said, it's like a son or a daughter or whatever. It's just another version of it.
Yeah.
Strange. It's just, yeah, why? I know Apple didn't want to take the time to make a whole entire new model, which would take a lot longer. But at the same time, they promised it was going to be their own model, and then it wasn't their model. I mean, technically it's their own model, but it's because it was trained by Gemini. It was like Gemini was its father, and it brought it up in a good son, do this, do that, do this, good job. And it's just, that's what it feels like it's doing. And
yeah,
I don't know.
There's actually 3 different models it uses. One's on device, and then there's 2 cloud models, and they're all trained by Gemini. So from what I know, it never actually goes to like the regular Gemini, but basically Gemini had 3 sons, and one is a okay son, but a really young son. He's a bit stupid, and then the
Yeah,
middle child,
8-year-old. Okay.
which everyone forgets about, and then you have the oldest one. That's basically what happened. Although for some reason the middle child and oldest child don't live with the younger son for some reason. Really weird enough.
But anyway, it's overall, I think iOS 27 and WWDC 26 was pretty good, honestly. They finally took care of promises that they had, even if it wasn't the most ideal way. They added some nice features like the AirPod customization, iPhone 11 getting the update, and better like child safety stuff. That's pretty good. Yeah, but it was just like, it's refinements at this point. What more can they add? I mean, besides AI, what more can they add? It's practically a perfect device. I mean, they can improve things, of course, but the foundation for a perfect device is right there.
That's what they can add. A clip manager. That's what they can add. A clipboard, I mean.
They
clipboard,
add what?
Not a clip manager.
Yeah, clipboard. Okay, I'm sorry. We've had clipboard since Android 3. You can copy stuff. Okay, for example, even on your Windows computer, you can copy multiple stuff. You have to turn that setting on. It's not on by default. But you copy one thing, it's in your clipboard. You can copy another thing, it's also in your clipboard. You can clip anything from the last Samsung keyboard, doesn't automatically erase. So you can have the clipboard months of clipboard history. But with Google's clipboard, it refreshes and clears it out like every 5 hours, I think it is. Every 5 hours, it clears out your clipboard. But that means I can clip as much stuff as I want and
Yeah.
paste it whenever I need to. I can clip my password, also can clip my username, and I can clip my 2FA code all at the same time. And all of them are still going to be there. Let's say, oh, I missed the deadline for my 2FA code. Guess what? I don't have to recopy my password because I copied my 2FA code. I already have my password pre-copied.
Yeah.
It's just, yeah, they could add that.
I know
anyway,
they can do it because it's on Mac. So it's like.
Oh, maybe it's coming next up.
Hopefully.
Yeah, but something that is canceled. Dbrand, the company that makes fun of every single company and you. Yeah, they call themselves robots and they call us lesser beings and stuff like that. They're a joking company. They think it's hilarious to make fun of everyone and everything. They were practically sued or given a cease and desist letter by Valve, the company who makes Steam Machine and Steam. What did they do? They made a product for the Steam Machine. It's called the Companion Cube. Now, what is the Companion Cube? It is from Steam's own game called Portal. Portal, the Companion Cubes were like item boxes in Mario, for example. Like it was an item box in Mario, basically. It was like a buddy box thingy. Imagine it like that. It was a little, but Dbrand made a little case for it. It was like a little case that went around your Steam Machine because the Steam Machine is a square, so it made it into a cube that was a Companion Cube, and it looked like a little Companion Cube from the game. But the thing is, Valve didn't talk to, Dbrand didn't talk to Valve at all about it. They just made this product, which is a licensed product. Hypothetically, I can't sell Portal myself. I can't sell Portal products because guess what? I don't have permission to sell Portal products. It's a licensed product. Apparently, Dbrand just thought that they could.
It's such a Dbrand
and they just thought they could sell the product.
It is such a Dbrand thing to do, though.
Yeah, I'm not surprised Dbrand did it, but at the same time, it's like, guys, it was kind of obvious. It's their image. I can't slap an Apple logo on my face wash brand and call it Apple soap. I can't sell Apple soap if Apple doesn't make it.
Put the Apple logo on the back of their Galaxy Book instead of the Samsung logo.
No, they actually could. That's
pretty much what
Dbrand did. They took Valve's basically logo or their symbol or their product and just stuck it for themselves. It's just like, yeah, Samsung can't put an Apple logo on the back of the phone, and they know that. That's why they don't. Otherwise, they absolutely would. Samsung, at a heartbeat, would have just put an Apple logo on the back of the phone, call it an iPhone.
Can you imagine if Dbrand did something like that to Nintendo? You know,
I'm surprised Nintendo hasn't sued Dbrand.
Nintendo and their ninjas.
I'm surprised Nintendo hasn't because Dbrand has made pretty close products. Like the Zelda Edition Switch, Dbrand basically make a skin that was almost an exact copy of it. I mean, technically it was legally distinct, but it looked practically the same. They weren't sued for some reason.
Which very surprising because it's Nintendo.
But think how much waste Dbrand just made because they can't sell the product anymore, and they probably have thousands in production. Well, big loss for Dbrand. Oh, speaking of which, a side note, fun fact. I was working. Don't say where I work, but I work at a place, and they brought a lot of products to a special event, and the problem is the product go bad after a couple hours, and they brought like 200 main products, 500 small products, and side products. They made about in altogether 1,000. And all of that added up together was about $2,500 in loss because no one showed up to the event because it rained. $2,500 of loss just from one event. Yeah, it was kind of bad. But this is what Dbrand's facing right now. They have so much in their warehouse they can't sell and they can't really do anything with it. So, big loss for them.
Yeah. All right, some interesting chip news. IBM, out of all the companies, which I guess makes sense actually, has made the world's first sub 1 nanometer chip when it comes to transistors. We don't even have 2 nanometer. Like 2 nanometer is this thing. Like supposedly the iPhone 18 Pro is going to get 2 nanometer chip. and they just come out here with a sub 1 nanometer chip. How much smaller can we get? Like, I'm pretty sure we're already almost at the atomic level, or at the atomic level.
We are at the atomic level.
How
but it's
do
like,
they make these things, to be honest? Like, I need to know. I need to go on fact.
okay, what they said is they gave us a revolutionary nanostack 3D chip architecture. Okay, let's break that down. Revolutionary, okay, brand new. Nanostack, aka a stack of extremely, extremely small products. 3D, so it's 3-dimensional, it's not 2D, which obviously everything is 3D, so I don't know what they're talking about. And chip, computer chip architecture, design. So it's a really small stacked, not 2D chip. That gave us no information. I'm sorry, that's just, could you
That's
just
marketing
say
talk.
a chip? It's just a stacked chip. It's just a stacked chip. Okay, anyway, they use stackers and transistors vertically, enabling more transistors to be packed into a chip. Okay, so they switched it from sideways to upright. Does that make it smaller? No, that does not make it smaller. Because if you just, it's the same size. It's like this quarter. This quarter's a transistor. It didn't get any smaller. It's just tall.
So does this mean
anyway,
they just like stacked?
So whatever
they're so
what they're telling us is not making sense. What they're telling us is not making sense. But at the same time, they were able to do it, so there must be something that they're not telling us of how they did it.
Yeah. So overall, I mean, it's pretty cool. I have a feeling this isn't going to be in anything consumer rated made, I guess, yet. It almost feels like one of those things that they just do to show they can do it, because like, does it even have a name? Or like, of course it's IBM.
Yeah,
IBM doesn't
what's
really
it called?
They don't really do consumer.
They call it revolutionary nanostack right now.
They don't really do consumer or anything anymore. Not really.
They don't. So this is basically just like hey, companies, you want to buy our chips, kind of, or you want to use our designs for the chips? And I'm reading more into their thing right now. It says ultra-thin dielectric bonding CMOS integration.
Apparently.
I can see how they're like talking about it. It's now stacked vertically.
Wait, unveiled in 2021? What? IBM's new sub-1 nanometer chip packs nearly 1 billion transistors onto a chip the size of a fingernail, nearly twice the density of IBM's 2 nanometer chip, unveiled in Oh wait, no, the 2 nanometer one was in 2021. Never mind.
I don't get it. I don't get it. It's like, yes, we need to go smaller, but we can't go smaller. Even in their pictures, you can see the individual atoms in their picture and showing you how small it is. Guys, we don't need to go smaller. Guess what? If you go smaller, it's harder to manufacture. Think about it. There's a reason why the Intel chips weren't going smaller than 14 nanometers for a long time, because Intel couldn't produce enough of the smaller chips because they kept breaking, because it's really hard to make things super, 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 super small. It's like insanely small, like smaller than a human hair kind of small. The individual gateways are so small. And think about how fragile it's going to be. Even just in production, how fragile some things are going to get. You drop your phone. Oh, great. Your phone cracked. The whole entire internal processor just stops working. I know that's a little far-fetched, but still, it's like, yes, good job for making progress, but guys, we need to do something more than just making it smaller, because making it smaller is not going to get you much anywhere, because you can keep going smaller until you can't go smaller. And when you can't go smaller, what are you going to do then?
Yeah. I mean, well, I will tell you one thing. If that Elon Musk factory ever comes true, they won't be able to make this. It would be, there's no way. I don't even think they could make a 1 meter chip. I don't even think that's a thing. But yeah, I mean, I guess it's cool technology, but it doesn't really tell us much because it's not a consumer chip. But speaking of chips and nanometers, apparently Apple is going to skip the high-end M6 chips, which might be 2 nanometer, we don't know yet, due to kind of the RAM shortage. They're going to be leaping to the M7 Pro and Max chips, So I guess they're trying to just work on that for now. They do this every once in a while. It's a bit weird. It's a bit weird how they have it lined up. Like the Mac Studio has a M4 Max or M3 Ultra. Bit weird, but it is what it is. We'll have to see how the M6 performs. It's mainly just going to have better memory bandwidth and a better neural engine for AI, which no one cares about. Well, some people care about. But yeah, not much, but that is also a thing.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I don't mind if they skip the M6 chips. I mean, why call it the M7, though? That's just kind of, why don't you just call it the whatever? I don't know. Why don't you just call it the M6 Max? Why do you have to call it the M7? But anyway, we're going to move on because we are running low on time. We got a redesign of YouTube that I absolutely dislike so much because they removed dislike.
No!
What do you mean? Okay, they removed dislike from like videos. That makes sense. The dislike kill counter. But shorts. You know how often I press the dislike button on shorts?
I press it like every other short.
Yeah, because there's a short that I didn't like. I disliked it, so I don't see it again. I never like shorts. I don't like shorts unless if I send it to my friends.
I dislike shorts because I hate them so much and I want them to get banned.
Yes, I removed it. I've given a dislike just like, hey, stop making this content that hurts to watch. I don't want to see this.
Unfortunately, they pushed the update to me, and I absolutely hate it.
Same for me.
So what I've been doing is if I dislike a video, I report it now instead of disliking it. I'm so mad at YouTube.
You know, you don't want to get like banned.
I don't care. They need to get banned, not me. And if they remove the dislike button from long form, I'm going to die.
But guys, how am I going to differentiate that I don't want to watch this kind of content? Because when you serve shorts with like long form YouTube videos, you click on the ones you want to watch. If you don't want to watch it, you close it. With shorts, they autoplay what it thinks you want. So if you watch it, like hypothetically, you scroll and you watch it, it counts as you like that. I give it a dislike because I wanted to know that I did not intentionally open this video. I did not want to see this video. But now it's going to count it as, hey, this person likes this video. He watched it for 2.5 seconds. Hey, YouTube, you're doing too much. You added direct chats in YouTube.
What?
It's the... Oh, you don't have that? Okay. I can directly chat with Seth and Riley in chats. There's chats in YouTube. So you send them a video. So whenever I share a video now, it doesn't share the video. It shares a chat window. It shares a chat that my video is in.
We don't need DMs. Come on.
No, stop. I'll demonstrate when we get off this call. I will send you a video, and it will send a chat to the video.
Come on, YouTube. Why? We don't need this at all.
They were announcing that they're going to do this for a while now, but they finally rolled it out to me, and I don't like it at all. I'm like, guys, I'm discussing it in a group chat already. I don't need to discuss it in a group chat inside of a app like YouTube. When I'm going to check my YouTube chat? I'm not going to check my YouTube chat. Why would I check my YouTube chat? That makes no sense.
Random people can DM you on YouTube now.
Yeah, this is like Spotify adding
chat.
Why? Spotify added chat. I thought you knew that. No, they added chat like 8 months ago. It's this. Yeah, you can share songs to your friends, which you would have already sent in a regular chat.
Spotify, it's a music platform, not a messaging platform.
Yeah, you can message people now. I'm like,
no.
Why? I don't get it. Yes, I'm going to message my friend on Spotify. It's so dumb. Anyway, we're going to go for something else. Oh, Claude Mythos. You remember how it was not released to the public and stuff? The U.S. government has banned it practically.
When they tried to release it to the public.
Yeah. What's it called?
Fable.
Anthropic started releasing Fable, which
basically Claude
Mythos. It was Mythos, but it had a stricter guideline. Guess what? There was a meme of some guy, I think his name was Jaden Williams. He made a meme of it was the U.S. government and then Anthropic, our Claude Mythos is so dangerous we can't release it to the public. That's why only super important agencies can access it, and then there's another person called Fable, and he was just the same person wearing glasses, and he was just like, because it was Claude Mythos just wearing glasses, and the U.S. government went and shot it, and then Anthropic was like, "Why did you shoot Fable?" It was like, it's Mythos wearing glasses, and it's hilarious. It was a hilarious demonstration, but it's quite literally what happened. Practically, it was just Mythos wearing glasses, and yeah, it had more safeguards, but okay. Anyone who's used the internet, you know you can get around practically any single safeguard there is, because the internet is the internet. Like, for example, when they tried to ban social media in Australia, everyone just turned a VPN on, and guess what? They have access to it. Guys, you can't ban anything online. I'm sorry. You can try your hardest, but you can't actually get rid of it.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, apparently Cloudflare is blocking AI crawlers from accessing websites without paying the creators, which is good, because AI training taking content that, I mean, it's not like what would be really nice is if they could do something like this for Google AI Overview, so sites will stop having to paywall everything. There's so many news sites now.
Well, actually, yes. Technically, this would work for AI Overview too, because it's blocking on the site level. So AI Overview looks at sites when you search it up. So if the AI crawler, aka Google AI Overview, can't access the site because they're using Cloudflare, AI Overview is not going to work really anymore.
Yay!
So this is actually, honestly, Cloudflare, good job on this. I am kind of excited for this, honestly, because if you block AI crawlers default, hey, guess what? Half of the internet, like over half the internet, is no longer accessible by AI agents. But at the same time, it's like, how do they know it's AI crawling? Because you can just pretend not to be an AI crawler. I mean, yeah, they have systems to identify if it's AI, but it's going to be a cat and mouse game. Like, Google is going to be like, okay, so they have to make our AI act more like a human. Okay, we need to make our AI act more like a human. Okay, we need to make our AI act more like a human. Okay, a little bit more like a human. Yeah, I mean, yes, this is absolutely fantastic, but I know it's not going to completely overhaul everything.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's pretty good. Another good thing is that if the Steam machine was too expensive for you, but you want SteamOS, there is a new PC called the Steamroller PC by Meta PCs, not Meta like Facebook. We hate Meta so much. And it runs SteamOS. It has a AMD Radeon RX 760 and AMD Ryzen 5 960X, and it is built as a upgradable alternative to the Steam machine, and it runs CS2, Cyberpunk 2027, a bunch of other games at high frame rates. And because it uses standard desktop parts, you can swap the GPU and RAM or expandable storage.
Yeah.
This sounds really great.
Okay, let's go. Okay. Meta PCs. Their shorts are kind of dumb, but they're also kind of funny at the same time. They have a lot of shorts, and that's the only thing I know about Meta PCs. I know they have pre-built PCs. I know their pre-built PCs aren't the best deals, but it's coming pre-installed with SteamOS. I mean, you can install SteamOS yourself, sure, but no one's going to. This is like, it's been specifically designed for SteamOS, and hey, it's a pre-built PC. I mean, that's a very hot topic in the gaming community, whatever. But hey, it's about the same price of a Steam machine with a controller. And it's about, with the Steam controller, it's like $80. And then that's about $150 for the controller and the machine with less storage. Because if you upgrade the Steam machine with more storage, I think it's about the same price with the controller and more storage. I believe.
I don't know. How much storage does it have? Let's see.
1 terabyte.
Oh, yeah.
The Steam machine's 512, and this computer's 1 terabyte.
Yeah. Actually, it might be slightly cheaper.
Okay, let's do one. Oh, there's no 1 terabyte option for the Steam machine.
Oh, it's 2 terabytes.
Yes, it's about what the Steam machine, like the 512 with controller and the 2 terabyte with controller, it's right in between both of those, because the 2 terabyte with controller Steam machine is about $1,500, about, and then this is $1,300.
It's actually slightly cheaper.
Look at the GPU.
The 2 terabyte.
Look at the GPU. Look at the GPU, a 7600X, RX 7600. That's so much better than the Steam GPU. I'm sorry. I mean, it's not the best GPU on the market, but it's better. I'm not going to say it's not better. It's better. And hey, I mean, the deal, it's still not the best deal, of course, but it's better than the Steam machine, and it's running SteamOS. So, hey, actually, it's not bad. And this is a great precedence for actual good PCs running SteamOS, like $2,000 PCs running SteamOS with like the best GPUs and stuff. This is a step in the right direction.
Yeah. Overall, it looks really cool. Might be better. I mean, it is better than the Steam machine. I guess we've already established that. So that's really cool. And moving on, Intel is making another new chip. It may actually be decent, like their Series 3. But the main thing of the day is that it's going to be using 447 watts of power. I think this is like a data center chip or something, isn't it? The Nova Lake CPU.
Oh, we don't know exactly yet. I believe that this is a data center / consumer platform. Like not the exact CPU for consumers, but it's going to be a similar CPU for consumers. Let me see. Anyway, Nova Lake. P1 levels. Yes, enthusiast grade motherboards. Okay, yeah, so this is going to be a consumer product.
Wow.
If 52 cores in a consumer product that draws almost 500 watts, 474 watts. Mind you, right now, most CPUs run like 100, 250 watts, anywhere
GPU
between 100 and
CPU?
250
watts.
Oh,
wait, no, that's CPU cores.
It's a lot of power. But that doesn't really show you how powerful it is, but that gives you a good idea of how powerful it's going to be. That is saying that it's going to use probably twice as much power. And now computer components and power do not scale linearly, like it's not 2 times better performance, 2 times power. It's usually about 50% more performance if it's 2 times power. But hey, if this is 50% more powerful than any CPU they've made, that's still a win, even if it's using a lot more power.
Yeah. Although, we don't know much about it.
It has DDR5 8000 support, so in other words, really, really fast RAM, which you won't be able to buy. But hey, supports it.
So yeah, that looks pretty interesting. Of course, it is enthusiast level.
Ooh.
And we don't know the price of it yet, I don't think. We don't really know much about it yet, do we? Like,
no, we don't know much at all, because right now it is still like development phase right now. It probably, let's see, does it say when it's going to be released? It does not say when it's going to be released. I'm assuming it's going to be announced, like officially announced by Intel, probably in October-ish, and then probably released next year, or maybe December. And yeah, so I'm excited for this new chip. It should be pretty powerful, but at the same time is you're going to have a better power supply in your computer for it. So, be warned.
Yeah, and last but not least, there is a new unpatchable exploit that targets Apple devices with a A12, A13, and S4 and 5 chip.
S4 and S5.
And I believe it's called US Obliterate. Or
US Obliterator. Or US Obliterate 8.
US Obliterate 8. And so basically it uses a hardware flaw in the USB controller along with a firmware flaw paired together to bypass the secure enclave, from what I know. Or something like that. I can't exactly remember.
Well, it is complicated because it can access some root directories, but it cannot access secure enclave.
Yeah.
AKA your personal data is not up for grabs at all. but the OS is vulnerable. So your personal data is not vulnerable, but the system data is vulnerable.
Which means...
So this is directly linked to how the last exploit for jailbreaking iPhones worked. It found vulnerability to access the OS itself, not personal data, but the OS, and be able to use a jailbreak.
Which means you can jailbreak
But it's brand new.
iOS 27 if that worked, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Although...
But it's brand new. We still don't know if it's going to work for it, of course. But hey, jailbreak your iPhone?
I mean, there's a lot of people that are into that type of thing.
But the question is, what are you going to do with a jailbroken iPhone, to be honest? Like, what are you going to do with it?
What do you mean? Like, there's so many different things you can do with a jailbroken iPhone. You can make it look...
Like?
You can make the app icons a different shape. And jiggle around on the screen. You can install different app stores. I've jailbroken several Apple devices. Don't wait.
So
I
you
shouldn't say
turned
that.
your iPhone into an Android.
No.
Okay. What else?
If you have like an iPhone 4, you can put iOS 26 on. You can't really do that. It doesn't really work, but you could if you wanted to.
Okay, from the sounds of it, it's like, hey, you can jailbreak your iPhone. Honestly, if I had an iPhone, I probably would jailbreak it just for the fun of it, but probably not really do anything with it. Because you can root Android phones, but there's no reason to root an Android phone. Jailbreak an iPhone, yeah, there's like installing third-party app stores and like changing your apps and stuff like that. That's features that we already have as Android people, but...
Oh, yes.
But at the same time, it's like maybe genuinely useful features. Maybe they'll add the multiple clipboard. Maybe they'll add like maybe they can fix like speed vulnerabilities or something like that. Or maybe they can change how the device wakes up, or the custom boot animation, or maybe it can do stuff like that.
How is a custom boot animation useful?
Hey, it's fun.
So is making your app icons react to gravity, like I mentioned earlier, which you didn't think was fun.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember someone showing it off. I'm like,
hey, it's fun. Just like
open your camera app while you're moving in a car. I dare you. Open your camera app while you're in the car. Because he was moving the phone, the apps were like moving on the screen. I'm like, okay, so open the app while you're driving. You won't be able to. It's going to be moving around the screen.
Yeah, that's funny.
Anyway. So, well, that's it for today's Byte-Sized Brief. Of course, you can always leave comments on wherever platform you're listening on, and you can take a look at our credibility score to know a little bit more about our sources and where we find the information from. See you guys in the next one. Bye.